Welcome to the show. This is Nightique, Edward St. Your host. And you probably have seen the pictures of the giant Sasquatch, the Bigfoot, that we've all seen through the years. And that picture goes way back, I think in the 60s. Well, there are folks here among us in Mississippi who believe that such a creature does exist here in Mississippi and really in other locations around the country. And they've made it their business to search for this creature, and some of these hunters, these Sasquatch hunters, have actually seen the creature. They've got reports of what it's like to come face to face with one. And we've got such a person here with us tonight. It's a Mississippian, Donald McDonald, and he is a member of an organization that is searching for Bigfoot here in Mississippi. And they're getting a lot of attention, national attention. Destination America, which is a network that is owned by the Discovery Channel group. That network, Destination America, is carrying a program which is profiling this group that Donald McDonald belongs to, as they literally search in the forests for Sasquatch. And he's got a long history of being a hunter of Sasquatch, and he's going to recount to us what it's like to literally come face to face with this creature. Now, a lot of folks probably are skeptical. They don't believe in such a thing. They don't believe this creature is walking among us. We have a person here who has seen it and who will describe what it's like to see the creature, and believes that these creatures are populating the forests all across the nation. So sit back and enjoy our upcoming program, Nightique. We'll be right back after these messages with Donald McDonald.
Since 1849, Carter Jewelers has been a part of Jackson's rich history. Over 163 years later, we've not only survived, Carter Jewelers has flourished. From generation to generation, we've established a tradition of excellence. Our reputation is built on customer satisfaction, service, and trust. Every piece of jewelry is hand-picked, so you know you're getting the best value.
Nobody says I do like we do at Carter Jewelers.
Come see us and be part of our history.
Ingalls Shipbuilding is hiring electricians, structural welders, machinists, ship fitters, pipe fitters, and pipe welders in our Pascagoula, Mississippi site. Signing bonuses available for pipe welders only. Positions are union represented. Come build your career with Ingalls Shipbuilding. Go to www.huntingtoningalls.com/careers or call 888-935-1507.
Welcome back to the show. This is Nightique here on JSU TV, Comcast, Channel 14. Now, a lot of folks have seen the photograph of the giant Bigfoot, the Sasquatch, through the years, and it's been around. It's in the zeitgeist. It's out there in the mindset of America. And I would say probably most people are skeptical when they see that. They say, well, somebody's dressed up in a costume, and this is not real. But Donald McDonald is a member of the Gulf Coast Bigfoot Research Organization.
Exactly.
Okay, I got it right.
You did good.
Yeah, I did good. So the men and women, I guess, who belong to this organization, what is your mission?
Really, our mission is to take it a step further than what most Bigfoot research organizations do. They want to go out, categorize, document, try to get pictures. That's not going to work. There's one way to prove the species, and that's to put one down. We don't want to do it, but for a proof of species, you're going to have to put one on the slab.
Okay, so you are literally hunting them down, hunting one down.
Oh,
All right,
yes.
well, first off, there's so much to talk about with this, but first off, you have had a personal encounter. Tell us about that.
Right, this was probably a couple years ago over south of Forest in Bienville National Forest. I'm not going to give the exact location away because it's a huge forest and they couldn't find exactly where it was. Me and a couple of my other local research buddies were out. We knew an area where there had been creatures that were seen and heard with their howls. We go down about 2 miles down this little logging road, and we're standing out there. This is probably 12:30, 1 o'clock at night. We've been there since dark. And we keep seeing something darting out of the corner of our eye from tree to tree to tree. And it's covering 25 or 30 feet in a second or a second and a half, and all you see is just a dart. And it was funny, a buddy of mine, he was sitting there on a bucket, and one time when it was getting close, it darted, and he saw it. It scared him so bad he fell off his bucket.
He saw, what did he see?
He just saw something dark. He said, "Oh, I think it's here." And it wasn't 3 or 4 minutes later, within 50 feet, it stepped out behind the tree and was standing there like this, just looking at us. 50 feet of the full moon. The moon was right behind it, so you got a perfect silhouette. You can see the outlines of the hairs on its
So
back.
this creature was what we seem to, what we remember from that photograph, something similar.
Yeah, something similar.
Okay, how tall was the creature?
This one was about 7 to 7.5 feet tall. Shoulders were, I'd guess, 3.5, 4 foot wide. It was a monster creature.
So, all right, well, what does one think when he encounters a creature like this in the middle of the woods? I mean, were you panicked?
Well, with us, we're a little different. We know they exist. We went to this area specifically to try to see if we could run across one. Now, we didn't get panicked because we knew they were there. The normal person, their mind can't wrap around what they're seeing, and that when they see it, they just freeze or they panic and run like crazy.
Well, is the creature, I mean, from what you have learned through the years, are these creatures at all aggressive?
They can be.
They can be.
Now, most of them, they just want to be left alone. But every once in a while, you run across one. We've got reports of people's houses being beat on. One guy got the tailgate of his truck where it lays that's down, almost ripped off the back of his truck. We get a lot of bluff charges where people are standing there and they hear something sound like an elephant coming through the woods. And then when it gets just by where it's fixed to be seen, nothing. They never hear it leave. Any other sound is never made. And what can do that?
So, all right, well, what is your opinion and your group's official opinion of this creature? What is it? Where in the chain of human evolution do we have a missing link and this character is still hanging around the forest?
Back in 2003, my group, which is led by Bobby Hamilton and Jim Lansdale, they're the two main guys in our organization. They shot one down in 2003. It got away. They wounded. They shot it. They had a deer baited out. They had found one that was dead. They tied it with wire to the ground, staked it out, and one was easing up on its belly, was trying to grab it and pull it, and we had a sniper in the tree. And he shot it right through the top of the back, and it come out through the chest. Well, they chased it all night long, and there was several other of these creatures trying to get all of our attention away from this one that was wounded, and it finally got away. But they turned in blood for DNA. They found a lot of blood and a lot of mucus material. They turned it in for DNA sequencing, and it come off not quite human. It was officially classified as unknown primate.
Unknown primate.
Yes, sir.
So
it's a ape.
So it's like a missing link between humans and...
We don't officially know. That was back several years ago. In 03, DNA has come a long ways. But it's unknown ape. It just hadn't been categorized
You
yet.
know, when you think about primates, you think about other countries, jungle areas or whatever, where those creatures are indigenous today. But you don't think about America, and you don't think about the forests around central Mississippi as being possible habitat for giant primates.
You wouldn't think that. That's why most people can't comprehend the thought of one of these creatures being around
So
here.
what would you say to someone who listens to this and says, no, that's not possible. It's impossible that this could be the case. What would you say to somebody like that?
I'm used to it. It's just people try to ridicule us because of our beliefs, and I don't believe in Bigfoot. I know he exists because I've seen it, and we catch this all the time. People, oh, you're crazy and all this. But what's funny is every time I get around a group of new people, I always bring it up to these people, about my Bigfoot research, and we're trying to do this, trying to do that. Most of them mock me and everything, but every single time I do it, a group of 10 or more people, there's always one person that comes back and catches me where nobody else can hear it. Man, here's what happened to me a few years ago. Every single time I do that. So there's hundreds and hundreds of reports in Mississippi.
Is there a website that people who are watching this program can go to send comments to you about their experiences or ask questions?
Yes, they can go to www.gcbro.com. That's our official website of the Gulf Coast Bigfoot Research Organization. And they can go to U.S. database, they can go to state, and then we have Mississippi, as in all the other states, broken out into all the counties. And they can look at the reports that we already have turned in there. There's also a submit an encounter deal that you can click on that, and you can submit your encounters to us.
You know, when you think back at, when you look at other phenomenon that is not really officially, you know, acknowledged by officials in the government, what is there any, what does the government say about this? I mean, what is the official line when it comes down to Sasquatch?
It's kind of like panthers. They say they don't exist. Now, back in, I believe it was the 1950s, I've got a photographed copy of a U.S. survival guide for the military from out in California. And you know, on that map, it has a picture and it says Sasquatch as being an official habitant of Northern California. Now, that is just amazing.
So evidently somebody in government has believes in it, I guess.
I don't know what the deal is, but the government just doesn't want to say they exist.
Well, you and your group have achieved something pretty spectacular. You have a program that's getting ready to air on national television. It's a pilot for a possible series on the Destination America channel, which is on all of the cable systems and on all of the satellite systems. So tell us a little bit about that. Before we take a break, give us an idea of how they found you and how this came about.
Well, Bobby Hamilton and Jim Lansdale, you know, I told you are our two main guys. We've had several producers and TV shows wanting to get us to do a TV show for them. In talking with them, they didn't want to do it the way we wanted to do it. So Bobby turned them down every time.
How did they want to do it, and how did you want to do it?
Well, we wanted to show it realistically. We didn't want to have some mamby-pamby thing going on there. This is totally fake, things like that. But
you wanted to shoot the creature.
Yes, we want to show it as it really, as we really hunt.
Right,
and Griffin Productions out of Canada, they're an award-winning production company. They've in a second season of a show called Biggest and Baddest up there now. They've got several shows over the last 15 or 20 years. And they came to us and talked to us, and they listened to us, which a lot of people don't want to do. Once they listened to us and they fed us, told us what they wanted to do, and once we did that, we accepted their offer.
Are they going to allow you to do it the way you want to do?
Well, you know, they're going to have their input, but they're going to work with us on how we want the show to come out.
All right, so we'll talk more about the show. We've got clips from the show. When does the show air?
October 24th.
That's your pilot?
Yes. They changed the date. It was going to be October 17th. And then late last week, they came up, and it's going to be October 24th on Destination America. And
it'll be during the evening, I guess?
Yeah, 9 o'clock on a Friday night.
That's great.
That's perfect time.
9 o'clock Central or Eastern?
Central.
9 o'clock our time. Okay, great. All right, well, we're going to talk about the show. We've got some clips from the show.
Yeah.
And we'll go into more detail about your experience in seeing the Sasquatch. And also, you brought some actual footprint molds of the creature.
Yes, some casts.
Some casts. So we'll take a look at that too.
Okay.
So we'll be back with Donald McDonald right after these messages. Stay tuned to Nightique.
Since 1849, Carter Jewelers has been a part of Jackson's rich history. Over 163 years later, we've not only survived, Carter Jewelers has flourished. From generation to generation, we've established a tradition of excellence. Our reputation is built on customer satisfaction, service, and trust. Every piece of jewelry is hand-picked, so you know you're getting the best value.
Nobody says I do like we do at Carter Jewelers.
Come see us and be part of our history.
Ingalls Shipbuilding is hiring electricians, structural welders, machinists, ship fitters, pipe fitters, and pipe welders in our Pascagoula, Mississippi site. Signing bonuses available for pipe welders only. Positions are union represented. Come build your career with Ingalls Shipbuilding. Go to www.huntingtoningalls.com/careers or call 888-935-1507.
Well, you probably would find maybe 8 or 9 people out of 10 that would have a skeptical view of Sasquatch as far as that creature running around the forests of Mississippi, right? Would you say somewhere maybe 75%?
Probably 75%.
75%, okay. So Donald McDonald is a person that has seen the creature and has had encounters with the creature. And tell us about some of your cohorts in this research group. What experiences have they had? Any dramatic experiences with the creature?
Yeah, Bobby Hamilton, who I was talking about as the head of our organization, when he was a kid, I guess he was 6 or 8 years old, and he was at his home. His dad worked offshore, so he gets up in the middle of the night and goes to the bathroom and is trying to get back into bed, and he hears something scratching on the screen. He looks, and there's one of these creatures standing there at the screen going, like, come here. And that really got him. That traumatized a small child.
And this is one of the members of the group?
He's the president of the group. He's the one that started the organization. And that was something like that would haunt you for your life. I don't care who you are.
Now, your group, you evidently are woodsmen. Do you know, from what background of hunting are you coming from?
Well, I was in the National Guard for 9 years, but I mean, just like any other, good old boy from Mississippi. My daddy gave me my first 410 when I was, I think, 5 years old, and I killed my first deer at 6. And I've been hunting and fishing my entire life, and I'll be 50 in about a month.
And the other guys are hunters?
Oh yeah, most of our guys have a military background or have been woodsmen since they were little kids.
When you get together in your groups together, and especially if you're out in the forest, do you ever talk about the fact that this is something that a large percentage of the population would not believe is real?
We've all come to understand it, and most people don't believe it until they have an encounter. Now, we really don't talk about it a whole lot. It's just something that we talked about a few times. We don't have to talk about it anymore.
Right. It's funny. Every now and then you'll see on CNN that a new species of fish or something that's never been seen before, even at this point in time, it's never been seen, it's never been cataloged, it's been found. And it happens all the time.
Yeah, there's been 2 or 3 new primate species that have been found overseas in the last few years. Was the bobino or something like that was only found 8 or 10 years ago. And there's another one I saw, especially the other night, that's even newer than that. They only found it in the last couple of years. And it's almost the closest to a human you can get.
So the program, you've done the pilot for it. It's airing October 24th.
October 24th.
On Destination America Network. So we've got a clip from the show. So let's take a look, Brandon. Please roll the clip.
I think you'll like it.
Deep in the Texas and Louisiana woods lurk giant ape-like creatures, which have folks down here scared for their lives.
You can't wrap your mind around this thing when you see it.
7.5, maybe 8 foot tall, and the shoulders was, say, every bit that wide.
Now, a group of vets, ex-lawmen, and hardcore woodsmen is hunting the creature to protect the public and harvest a specimen to prove it's real. They are the GCBRO, Gulf Coast Bigfoot Research Organization.
Science says it doesn't exist. They don't have a body. Our agenda is to go ahead and put one on the slab.
The body of one adult male is the only way our government will admit that these creatures do exist.
So, okay, now that's the pilot you've shot, and if the series gets picked up, then you'll be shooting more shows, right?
Yes. We won't know until I guess the numbers come in from the pilot. It's just like anything else when they shoot a pilot.
And the actual shows, where would you be shooting these shows?
All over the southeast, anywhere from Georgia all the way through probably south central Texas up into Oklahoma.
So what's the criteria for a location shoot?
What we're looking for is aggressive animals. One that is coming up and harassing people, killing their livestock, their farm animals, their pets. That's the ones we're trying to go get. We don't want to mess with the ones that are out there that just won't be left alone. But it's the ones that are aggressive, that are harassing people. Something needs to be done about them. And a lot of times, just us being there and hunting the area, even if we don't, shoot at one or harm one, us being in the area, they know and can sense that we're trying to hunt them, and they leave for a while.
Do you have reports of certain locations across the country where there is an aggressive character showing himself?
Oh, many of them.
Really? So you know that in a particular location there have been a number of sightings and maybe even some aggressive activity of a Sasquatch?
All the way from down around in south central Texas up through the east Texas, western Louisiana, south central Louisiana, 1 or 2 spots in Mississippi, a couple places in Georgia, and several in Oklahoma.
So can you say offhand right now what's the hot spot where these creatures are more aggressive?
Probably west central Louisiana and east central Texas, and then in certain parts of Oklahoma, there's a couple spots up that way.
Now, I guess it's probably a little controversial when you talk about the objective of the organization is to not just go out in the woods, but to actually kill the creature and bring him in for the scientists to do the research on. That is the mission, basically, right?
Put one on the slab.
Put one on the slab. Okay, so isn't that a little controversial in this day and age where people look at, they look at something like this and they say, well, couldn't you capture the creature, would not kill the creature and bring the creature in? What is your comeback on that?
Well, a lot of people have been watching too much Harry and the Hendersons back years ago. These things are not all cuddly. They want to be left alone. Now, I got to thinking about the thing about catching one. If you catch one, what are scientists going to do? They're going to dissect it. They're going to test it. They're going to do this, going to do that. To me, that will be more cruel and inhumane than putting one on the slab.
I guess if they did capture one, they would probably have to put him in a cell in some type of a barred environment, right? But
constantly taking tissue samples, constantly taking blood samples, testing them on this, testing them on that. These are wild animals. It would not do good in any kind of cage. Plus, you wouldn't catch one anyhow.
You wouldn't be able to catch one.
No, I've seen trees that big around where it grabbed the pine tree, twisted the pine tree, and laid it over. That's a strong animal. And what we believe, based on our findings from kills, like a deer, they're taking come up and catch the deer, twist its neck and snap its neck. And it's done the same thing with cows. Cows got a neck that big around, grab the cow, twist its head, break its neck.
Are they carnivores, or do they eat only vegetables?
They're like us. Whatever they can find, they'll eat meat. I look for areas that's got huckleberries, blueberries, a lot of fruits and stuff, and then a lot of small game and a lot of deer and things like that. That's the areas I want to go look at. And in swampy areas, even if it's not reports, I'll go investigate that area to see if I can find some signs of these animals. So
you would say to a person that says, don't harm the creature, you would say,
leave them alone.
I mean, as far as killing the creature, bringing him in, what would you say to them?
I mean, we're going to put one down. That's the only way that scientists are going to say this is a true animal and it's a new species.
And they could examine the creature.
Yeah.
Okay, now, you brought some actual casts of the footprint. Can we see that?
Yes. This is my size 11 right here.
This is a normal.
That's my size 11. That's my foot.
Right. This is size 11.
All right. This is a replica of the old Patterson-Gimlin film, where it walks across the creek and everything back from the late 60s.
Is this the one we saw? Right.
Yes.
This is what we saw in the video that everybody remembers of seeing the Sasquatch. That's a print from that creature.
That is a casting from that track, or a replica of that.
Okay. Now, the one that you were telling me about earlier that one of your members came across, I believe, it was even bigger than this,
yes,
right?
That's about 16 and a half inches. We've got one that's 22 inches long.
So
it's this long, and the front part of the foot right here is about that wide.
So how big of a creature would that be?
They're probably looking at about 10 feet.
About 10 feet. How big of a creature would this be?
That one, I did some scaling of the toes based on some of the old pictures, and I estimated somewhere around 6'9".
Right, near 7 feet.
Yeah,
and,
that
and
was
weighing how much?
That one, well, what's out there is a little different. They're big-waisted, bulky animals. That one probably weighed 600, 650 pounds.
And with the big one, how much would that one have weighed?
Probably a little bit less, actually, simply for the fact that what we have around here, they're small-waisted, they're more athletic-looking. And the arms hang down, halfway between their knees and their waist. But they're just a lot more athletic. They're small-waisted, broad-shouldered, where that thing out there in California was just a bulky animal. And it is an animal.
So it's October 24th on Destination America at 9 p.m. Central Time, and that's the pilot. Well, good luck, Don, because
thank you.
If the show goes well, you'll have more shows to shoot, and it's exciting.
It is, and I get to spend time with, I call these guys, we call each other brothers, and we are.
What is the website for folks out there that might want to be in touch with you guys?
GCBRO.com.
And they can ask questions and you can respond back, that type of thing, right?
Yeah, and they can also go to killingbigfoot.com, and there's got a breakdown of the cast. There's a link to our GCBRO website on that website.
What is the official name of the program on Destination America?
Killing Bigfoot.
Killing Bigfoot. Okay, Don, thank you. That's Donald McDonald.
Yes.
Thank you for being with us.
Oh, anytime.
And we want to get you back when you find out what's the next situation with the program. If you get it,
I'll bring you a Bigfoot shoulder mount. And we'll put it right here.
Yeah, we want to see video that you take of the creature. When you get back in the woods with him. Okay, thank you, Don.
Right.
We'll be right back after this.
Since 1849, Carter Jewelers has been a part of Jackson's rich history. Over 163 years later, we've not only survived, Carter Jewelers has flourished. From generation to generation, we've established a tradition of excellence. Our reputation is built on customer satisfaction, service, and trust. Every piece of jewelry is handpicked, so you know you're getting the best value.
Nobody says I do like we do at Carter Jewelers.
Come see us and be part of our history.
Ingalls Shipbuilding is hiring electricians, structural welders, machinists, ship fitters, pipe fitters, and pipe welders in our Pascagoula, Mississippi site. Signing bonuses available for pipe welders only. Positions are union represented. Come build your career with Ingalls Shipbuilding. Go to www.huntingtoningalls.com/careers or call 888-935-1507.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you every night at 10 p.m. and a repeat at 1 a.m. here on JSU TV and on the Comcast system around the metro area. We're on channel 14. That's JSU TV, and this is Nightique, and we'll talk to our neighbors and to the newsmakers around the area at 10 p.m. every Monday through Friday, so we hope to have you as a regular viewer. I'm Edward St. Pé. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Nightique.